So in this lesson, you're going to add some obstacles that your enemy will not be able to go through or will be slowed down when they do go through it. So you can see my enemy can only go certain places. So, and we're going to fool around with this some and make it so we get familiar with it and adjust it. And you can adjust it individually for your game. So when we do our bigger game, that way we'll be able to control where the enemy can and can't do. And of course, it won't be one of these things chasing us. So you can either create some objects like I did. And I created a ramp, which is here. And these are some of my settings. So I had my ramp like a 25 rotation and a different kind of scale. So I sort of scaled it like this. But you can fool around with it and get the ramp you want. I also went to the asset store and brought in some objects. So like my castle and a tree, sort of weird looking tree. But those, I think they came from my maybe this game developer thing I got from the asset store to get some assets. I think that's where I got it from. Let's see, prefabs. Yeah, maybe not. But anyway, find some obstacles you want, and yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, so game dev models, and then you can just drag these in. These are the different things I had. So the most important thing though is you get the things you bring in or the ones you create, cubes and castles, you have to put them as their children under the ground. So you're going to have to make sure they're under the ground, drag them all in here. The easiest way to do is you have a bunch of them, is hold down shift and then let go and then just drag them under here. And so they open up. And then you're going to have to go to your ground, which should have the nav mesh surface on it, and you're going to have to rebake it. So once you put that inside here, and you should have these settings, you're going to rebake it. And then I think we can open, so if you go into humanoid open agent settings, you can start fooling around with how high your enemy can go. Like if you have a ramp or something they have to go up, the radius it can move, the slope height, etc. So maybe it can't go up a hill or can go up a hill. So you can sort of fool around with that and get it going. And in the next lesson I'm going to add that sound, which I think is pretty simple, and I believe I just dragged it on my player. Somewhere in here I have my sound. There is my audio source. So I'll have a thing to add some audio source inside there. And so when the game plays, will depending upon the sound you want. Anyway, fool around with that nav mesh, because remember we're going to use that quite a bit when we go to our next game. Make sure you bake it, and then you can fool around with it and make sure all your objects are underneath the ground as children.